Greetings to Sir Faisal. We are from Group 522B. The country that we choose is South Korea. I'm Yunshen, and these are my group members. Nurul as the leader, Howie, Kayo, NEVASHINI, NISHALINI, and HAZWANI. The Republic of Korea, or South Korea for short, is a vibrant and technologically advanced country in East Asia. The Yellow Sea, the Sea of Japan, and North Korea are all on or near the Korean Peninsula, and South Korea is west of the Korean Peninsula. With its long history, prosperous economy, and rich cultural heritage, South Korea has developed into a major player and world superpower. With a population of approximately 51.78 million, South Korea is known for its densely populated cities, including the country's capital and largest city, Seoul. Seoul is a vibrant metropolis known for its modern architecture, state-of-the-art technology, and thriving entertainment industry, including the world-famous Hallyu and Korean drama. Incheon, Busan, and Daegu are other important cities, while Seoul is home to about half of South Korea's population. For many years, South Korea has been renowned for its technological innovations, particularly in the fields of electronics, cars, shipbuilding, and telecommunications. Samsung, Hyundai, LG, and SK Group are just a few of the numerous international businesses that call it home. The country is a significant exporter of goods and is renowned for its premier items like cosmetics, automobiles, and smartphones. With the lowest fertility rate in the world and elderly populations, the country has struggled in recent years. Residents in South Korea benefit from some of the world's fastest internet connection as well as the world's densest high-speed rail network. The Korean Peninsula is proven to have been inhabited by humans during the Upper Paleolithic. As early as the first millennium before century, China recorded its first kingdom. The Goryeo and Joseon dynasty came to power after the merger of the three kingdoms into Silla and Balhae in the second half of the 7th century. The Korean Empire, which succeeded it from 1897 to 1910, was annexed by the Japanese Empire that year. After World War II, Korea was divided into two by Japan. Its northern region was occupied by the Soviet Union, while its southern region was ruled by the United States. After unification talks failed in August 1948, the South became the Republic of Korea, while the North was annexed by the Soviet Union the following month and transformed into the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea. The Korean War broke up in 1950 with the North Korean invasion. The United Nations, under the direction of the United States, intervened vigorously in this conflict on behalf of the South, while China and the Soviet Union supported its intervention on behalf of the North. In the years after the war ended in 1953, South Korea and the United States formed a military alliance that continues to these days. Meanwhile, the country's battered economy began to recover, with GDP per capita growth rate amongst the world's fastest between 1980 and 1990. Democracy in full operation can be found in South Korea. In South Korea, the president is also the head of state. The constitution permits the formulation of political parties, but they need to make sure their objectives and practices must be consistent with democracy. Political stability is found in South Korea. South Korea keeps close ties with a number of countries, but it finds it difficult to get along with North Korea because both countries consider themselves to be the sovereigns of the whole Korean Peninsula. One of the issues South Korea currently has is corruption. The problem's severity of evident in the fact that some politicians and CEOs of significant corporations are abusing their position by accepting bribes. South Korea's economy has experienced phenomenal growth over the past 60 years. It is one of the key development partners of the World Bank Group and a significant funder of its assistance to underdeveloped nations. By the end of 2023, it is anticipated that its GDP would be around 1,827 billion US dollar. There were various country and trade organizations with whom South Korea has free trade agreements. With little to no barriers, South Korea businesses can now access border markets thanks to these free trade agreements. The term Hallyu describes the way that Korean culture and entertainment has spread over the world. It has grown tremendously in popularity over the past 20 years and transformed into a phenomenon with a growing global impact on many different businesses. In this part of the world, Korean TV soap operas are particularly well liked. Among the most distinctive aspects of Korean culture are its cuisine, art, sports, and architecture. It should be noted nevertheless that the country has numerous difficulties, including an aging population, a wealth divide, and a low reproductive rate. Similarly to this, there is a serious housing issues in large cities. As a result, in reaction to the situation, South Korea is turning hotels and offices in South into rental properties. Numerous people reside in single rooms with limited space for beds. One of the countries in the world with the highest level of digitalization is South Korea. By 2023, its busier airport, Incheon Airport, one of the best in the world, plans to implement facial recognition technology, artificial intelligence robot, and pedestrian tunnel security. In numerous preschool and kindergartens across the country, robots are already employed as teachers. South Korea, which is renowned for its fast wireless internet, has access to practically all homes. The two most popular things are instant messaging and games. In reality, South Korea has long been a major player in the world's e-sport and gaming markets. South Korea has achieved advances in biotechnology, robotics, and aerospace engineering. The majority of South Koreans consider AI to be a component of the solution, not the issue. Social media is used by more than 85% of people. However, given the prevalence of government institutions, commercial enterprise, media outlets, and other institutions that have been subject to cyber attack in the past, cybersecurity is a concern for the nation.
Next is national cultural background. This is the analysis in the process of examining the beliefs, values, customs, and social norms of a particular society of a nation. It involves identifying the culture traits that define a society and understanding how they influence the behavior of individuals and organizations within that society. When it comes to career companies, these two concepts have several implications. For example, there is a strong emphasis on hierarchy and respect for authority, which means that decision making tends to be centralized and top down. Confucianism in particular has a long history of influence in Korea, and its political and social philosophies can still be clearly seen in Korea today. Because of Confucianism, a great deal of accentuation is put after regarding one's older folks and predecessors. Buddhism and Christianity, on the other hand, are highly visible in South Korea society, where Buddhists make up 46% of the populations and Buddhist temple can be found in many of the World Heritage sites there. Followed by collectivism. It is a cultural trait that emphasizes in the importance of group harmony and loyalty over individual achievement. This is reflected in the way Koreans interact with one another as they tend to prioritize the needs of the group over their own personal goals. Next is high power distance. It refers to the degree of inequality that exists between people in a society. In Korea, there is a significant gap between those who hold power and those who do not. This is reflected in the strict hierarchy that exists in Korean society and the workplace, where individuals are expected to show deference to those in positions of authority, and then followed by concept of jeong, which refers to a deep sense of emotional connection and loyalty between individuals. This reflected in the way Koreans interact with one another, as they tend to form close bonds with the family members, friends and colleagues. For an example, in contrast to individualism, Western cultures, the sentiment in Korea is founded on the concept of collective social responsibility. Jeong can be portrayed as a close, warm sentiment emerging from one's relationship with someone else and the craving to work on a something for them, similar to an elderly grandmother accumulating so much food in front of their grandchildren as they fear they will burst. Apart from that, there are various customary expressions in South Korea that can in any case can be seen and delight in today. We are grateful to the Korean people for mastering these arts for our benefit of many of us. They are celebrated in exhibits all over the world and performed at special events throughout the country. An impressive 5,000 years ago, shamanistic rituals in Korea led to the formations of dances. Over the long haul and the various administrations, assortments of the society move have developed from the ceremonials move. There are more than 12 different kinds of Korean dances, some of which were popular to perform in front of royal at the court, such as talcum, nonga, and buchihilam. Furthermore, Korean court music is one more conventional type of Korean music. It was created at the beginning of the Joseon dynasty and was influenced by Chinese court music in some ways. There are likewise likeness to Japanese and Vietnamese court music. There are three kinds of music for court. The first form is ark, which originated in Chinese state sacrificial rites and it still performed as music in some Confucian ceremonies today. The second form is hyangak, what entirely developed by Koreans a lot of the time was accompanied by audience perform traditional country dances. The third one is dangak, which blends Chinese and Korean court music styles into one style. Overall, the understanding the cultural background of Korea is essential for anyone looking to do business in Korea or work for a Korean company. By recognizing the unique cultural traits of Korea, it is possible to navigate the Korean business environment more effectively and build strong relationship with Korean colleagues and partners.
Good day, sir. I'm Shahoyi. Today I'm going to present local history. South Korea or Republic of Korea is located in Northeast ASEAN on the southern portions of Korean Peninsula. It shares both land and maritime border with the North Korea, China, and Japan. With a history that extends over 5 centuries, South Korea maintains a strong sense of culture, heritage, and identifies even in the face of foreign influence. Next is ancient time. The histories of Korean peoples begin around 19,000 years ago when humans settled in Manchuria and Korean peninsulas. The Korean peninsula has been inhabited for 10,000 of years. In ancient time, a large tribal confederations called Gojoseons emerged, believed to be founded by the legendary figure Dangos. Gojoseon was the first Korean kingdom and expanded its influence in Manchuria and the northern South Korea. However, it is eventually destroyed by the Han Dynasty's invasions of China in 108 BCE. During the Three Kingdom period, small proton states in Manchuria and the Korean peninsula united to form a three distinct kingdoms: Silla, Goryeo, and Baekje. Missionaries from China and Central Asia played a significant role in spreading Buddhism and Confucianism, leading to the transformations of tribal system into the centralized monarchies. The Three Kingdoms, Goryeo, Bunyos, and Gayas emerged in battle until the late 17th centuries, while the Baekje kingdom ruled over Manchuria. Silla kingdom emerged as a dominant power on the Korean peninsula after defending the Han armies in 676 CE, marking the beginning of the North-South state periods. This era brought about prolonged periods of peace in Korea with remarkable achievements in literature, architecture, agriculture, and research. Goryeo, the capital of Silla, became the major global city due to the international trade. Buddhism became the official religion and embraced the cultural achievements like temples and Sogoram sculptures gained the World Heritage recognitions. Metalworks, a high level of craftsmanship, and Korean cultures influenced the development of Asuka culture in Japan. The Goryeo dynasty, established in 918 CE, it is an aristocratic society characterized by the concentrations of powers, wealth, and knowledge among royal and noble households. Buddhism became official religion and notable achievements including the corrections of expeditionist Buddhist artwork and the first metal movable type books. Goryeo remained its relationship with various kingdoms. The dynasty's interacts with Mongols brought the novel concepts and inventions to Koreans. The term Goryeo became simultaneous with the Korean peninsula, and the dynasty names inspires the country's official name, Korea, which still used today. The Goryeo dynasty lasts for nearly 470 years. Next is the Japanese occupational and independent movement. In the early 20th century, Japan launched attacks on northern China and Korea. The Korean Declaration of Independence in 1919 sparked the March 1st movement, a large-scale protest against Japan rules. The provisional government of Republics of Korea was established in Shanghai to pursue independence. During the Second Sino-Japan War, Korean actively fought against Japan's pretensions in China. Under Japanese occupation, Korean societies underwent significant change, including the suppression of Korean language and culture. After the World War II, the South Korea half of the peninsula became the Republic of Korea, while the North established a communist government with support of the Soviet Union. The Korean War begins in 1950 while the North Korea attacked South. The conflict turned into the global struggles with the UN intervening to support South Korea. Despite the heavy loss, South Korea and UN forced to manage to put back the North Koreans. The war ended with the armistice in 1955, creating a demilitarism zone between two countries. Effort of peace continues, although the tension remains high. The hope is for a peaceful and unified Korean peninsula in the future. Last period is the modern period. In the modern period, South Korea experienced rapid economic growth from the 1960s to the 1990s, becoming one of the world's fastest growth developed nations. The country faced a financial crisis in 1997 but recovered after receiving a bailout of the IMF. South Korea is now technological advancement country, ranking among the top exporters and having a significant GDP.
Is local cultural perspective of Korea. Korea, a nation rich in history and tradition, boasts a unique culture exchange that has captivated the world. From its distinctive cuisine and traditional arts to its vibrant festival and social customs, Korean local cultural perspective is a tapestry woven with a deeper sense of pride and identity. There are various aspects of Korean culture shedding light on values, traditionals, and beliefs that the shape live its people. By understanding the local cultural perspective of Korea, we can gain deeper appreciation for this remarkable country and its people. Korea has a long, vibrant cultural history that spans thousands of years. Embracing the local cultural perspective allows individuals to tap into a rich heritage, exploring traditional customs, art forms, languages, cuisine, and many more. By understanding and appreciating their cultural roots, Korean can develop a strong sense of identity and pride in their heritage. First aspect of Korean culture is a historical significance. Korean cultural perspective is deeply rooted in its history. The influence of extinct dynasties such as Goryeo and Joseon periods continue to shape the contemporary Korean society. The reverse for the Confucian values which expanses filial piety, respect for authority, and harmonious social relationships remains an essential aspect of Korean cultural identity. Furthermore, the impact of colonization, division, and subsequent reunification efforts also play a significant role in shaping the local culture perspective of Korea. Therefore, language and communication also being a part of the local culture perspective of Korea. The Korean language known as Hangul is a fundamental element of Korean culture. Its unique alphabet system, created by King Sejong the Great, embodies the value placed on education and accessibility. The Korean language reflects the society hierarchy through different speech levels, emphasizing respect and politeness. Furthermore, nonverbal communication, such as bowing and hand gestures, is an integral of Korean culture and adds deeper to interpersonal interactions. Furthermore, the local cultural perspective highlights the interconnectedness of various aspects of Korean society. It expands the relationships between individuals, families, communities, and the nation. By understanding the cultural fabric that binds them, Koreans can foster social conscience, solidarity, and collective sense of responsibility. Meanwhile, Korea's unique cultural perspective contributes to the global community. By sharing their local cultural perspective, Koreans can engage their cultural exchange with the people from different backgrounds. This exchange of ideas, traditions, and value helps promote mutual understanding, respect, and appreciation among diverse culture. The local cultural perspective is a wellspring of inspiration for innovation and creativity of Korea. It provides a foundation individuals can draw up to the create new artistic expressions, designs, technology advancement, and entrepreneurial ventures. By blending traditional and contemporary elements, Koreans can contribute to the culture and creative industry, driving economic growth and global recognition. However, Korean local culture perspective is crucial in attracting tourists and driving the economic. Visitors can often drawn to unique aspects of Korean culture such as traditional architecture, music, dance, and festivals. By showcasing and preserving their local culture perspective, Korean can stimulate tourism, create jobs, and boost their economic as well. In addition, another local culture perspective of Korea is the cuisine and dining culture. Korean cuisine, known as a bold flavors and diverse range of ingredients, is an internal part of Korean cultural identity. From iconic dishes like kimchi, bulgogi, and bibimbap to the communal style of eating, which is multiple dishes are shared, Korean dining culture fosters social bonds and reflects the importance of the community. The emphasis on balance, harmony, and using natural ingredients in Korean cooking highlights the country's deep connection with nature and desire of holistic well-being. Furthermore, festivals and celebrations are also from the local perspective of Korea. Korea's calendar has a vibrant festival and celebrations that highlights its culture perspective. From the colorful splendor of Lunar New Year to the extravagant festivals to the Everest Moon Festival, these events reflect the importance of family, tradition, and communal harmony. Festivals like this Lotus Lantern Festival and the YONG Mud Festival also showcase the fusion of ancient customs with modern creativity, embodying the enveloping nature of Korean culture. Therefore, Jesa is also another local culture perspective of Korea. Ancestral rituals and family bonds, Jesa and ancestral rituals performed in Korea embody the importance of family, respect and acceptance, and the connection of the lineage. These rituals involve offering of a food, drinks, and other items to honor and remember decent family members. For example, during an ancestral ritual of China, family members gather around a memorable table filled with prepared dishes. In conclusion, Korean local culture perspective is a transparently woven with historical significance, language, traditional arts, cuisine, festivals, and complementary influences. By exploring and understanding these facts, we gain valuable insights of their value, belief, and traditional that shape of our life of the Korea people. From the harmony-seeking confusion value to the dynamic global influence of Ilu Wave, Korean cultural perspective is testament to its rich heritage and the resilience of its people. By embracing and appreciating the local cultural perspective of Korea, we foster cross-cultural understanding and forge connection to transcend the borders.
Hi, good day, sir. Now I present about the outsider's perspective of Korea. For the first part, working culture. Korean workplace culture is structured in hierarchical manners with age status determining rank. Senior members of the community's initial initiative and everyone in the society plays a certain functions. Social methods such as late-night drinking and barbecues are used to bond with colleagues, but can lead to irresponsible behavior. Korean employment is sociable, has long hours and blur work and personal life. It's making work-life balance difficult. The number of hours required to work has been reduced, but the hierarchical structures and difficulty experienced by newcomers make it difficult for newcomers to effectively traverse the cultures. For the next part, the K-pop Korean wave. The term of Korean wave Hallyu refers to the international recognitions of South Korea's cultural economies for its export of modern entertainment, music, films, dramas, online games, and cuisines. It has spread to Southeast Asia and other countries and has had a significant impact on the Korean economy, cultures, and image. It has responsible for 0.2% of Korea's GDP in 2004, and Hallyu's contributions to the Korean economy is estimated to be $12.3 billion. Although it is the peak of Hallyu's in these generations, but the suicide case of celebrities such as Hara Sulis occurs due to the pressures of the K-pop industry, such as imperfect contract, working too fast, throwing too much, spending too much time to practice, and other factors. For the next part, the education of South Korea. South Korea has the highest levels of education in the world, with 70% of the 51.5 million people between the age of 24 and 35 having finished some kind of tertiary education. This is more than 20% point higher than similar rates in the United States. South Korea's higher education system was ranked 22 out of 50 by the Universitas 21 Research University Network in 2018. The Economist Intelligence Unit recently ranked South Korea as the 12th best country out of 35, tied with the United States. The Korean government invested in technical innovations, research, and human capital development in the 1980s, leading to a sharp increase in the numbers of people participating in education. Education levels has a significant impact on societies, and South Korea has an intense rivalry for admissions to prestigious colleges. This has led to a cult-like love of learning, with students being referred to the exam freaks and parents being referred to as tutoring freaks. This has caused numerous societal issues such as the highest suicide rates among OECD nations, low grades, and fear of failure. As a result, Koreans has a high uncertainty avoidance and power distance.
There are several common norms in international standard practice based on uncertainty avoidance and power distance in South Korea. High uncertainty avoidance in South Korea lets South Korea put strong emphasis on planning and structure across variety of societal spheres to reduce it. First is economic planning. South Korea put 5-year economic and social development plans to boost domestic prosperity and end political stability. Second is education system. Korea's scholastic ability test performed with CSAT conducted to gauge student academic preparation for college, assess student accomplishment in curriculum completions, and gauge high-order thinking abilities based on subject-specific knowledge. Next is urban planning. Major cities like Seoul have effective transportation systems that meet the demands of population and contribute three-stage urban planning system, which are urban master plan, living area plans, and urban management plan. South Korea also prepares for long-term relationship in order to reduce high uncertainty avoidance. South Koreans keep partnership with partners by having strong desire to learn a lot about their partners. Besides that, they also establish friendships over meals and drinks because drinking culture in South Korea can help to strengthen partnership. The culture of South Korea is steeped in Confucianism, which places a strong focus on respecting authority, that junior's position is obedience and senior position is respected. Respect for individual in position of power and authority and seniority and age are highly valued in Korean society. Superiors are expected to be treated with deference and respect. In this decision-making process, older people and those with more seniority or high position are treated with greater respect. Questioning or challenging the decision is considered disrespectful. Power distance is linked to centralized decision-making. Centralized decision-making is frequently considered as a strategy to guarantee its effectiveness and consistency. This is because all the decision is made under a single authority to ensure that decisions are made in the organization's best interest and help build a transparent decision-making procedure.
I will continue with my part. For the recommendation, cultural sensitivity training is one of the recommendations that may be given about the country cultural background. This initiative should be on fostering greater awareness and understanding of the nation's cultural heritage, which includes its history, customs, values, and social mores. For the local cultural perspective, historical significance suitable, respect for Confucian principles, which place a premium on filial piety, deference to authority, and harmonious interpersonal relationships continues to be a significant component of Korean cultural identity. Encouraging open communication is the one recommendation for the outsider's perspective. As a manager in an organization, you must be conscious of the possibility that outsiders may have different expectations about hierarchies and communication methods. We must encouraging a diverse workplace where workers feel free to express their opinion regardless of their position in the organizational hierarchy. In K-pop culture, for outsiders' perspective is customized communication style. Managers must understand that people from diverse cultural backgrounds may communicate in different ways. When interacting and communicating with overseas fans and colleagues, take their preference into account. Use the right communication channels and techniques, for instance, to engage with different audiences. Maintaining an inclusive and collaboration learning environment is important. Encourage active student engagement, group projects, and interactive teaching strategies that promote candid communication and information exchange, for instance, to make sure our perspective on culture is good. Employee training and development from a management perspective in South Korea. Spend money on personal training and development initiatives that enhance organizational and planning abilities. Provide instruction on decision making procedures, problem solving approaches, and project management methodology. Employees get the skills necessary to handle uncertainty and organize their work efficiently as a result. Strive for a balance between hierarchical decision making and encouraging an environment of open communication and involvement with the aid of balanced decision making. Encouraging all employees to share their thoughts and opinions, for instance, even if higher level management makes the final decision, while maintaining respect for the hierarchical system. This strategy encourages a feeling of inclusion and empowerment. Next, for conclusion, organizations in South Korea may handle uncertainty avoidance and power distance efficiently by considering the national cultural background, local history, local cultural perspective, outsiders' perspective, and common norms in international standard practices. This results in a workplace that is inclusive and sensitive to cultural differences, where people feel respected and inspired to give their absolute best. Organizations may boost their competitiveness, encourage innovation, and achieve sustained success in the changing global environment by embracing diversity and utilizing varied views. That's all from our group. Thank you.